Shalom and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Today is another, the same topic from last week, GMS News and Prophecies, dated April, and months is jumping quick, April 13th, 2013. And basically, we're going to go into some prophecies. We're going by the Spirit. We didn't plan anything. But it seems like things go smoothly when we don't plan things, but it goes smoothly even though we do plan things. But, we let the Spirit, overtake us, so to speak. Anyway, I just wanted to say this concerning the tests. You had certain camp leaders that have sent in a test to that site on YouTube, which is what is the 666 mark. But what I'm going to do is, this is more than a test. Basically, now it's a project. Okay? Now, what I said concerning the test, I said you don't have to give me a dissertation on every verse. Like, for example, the first couple of verses, what is the fourth verse, the third verse, where it speaks about the great king of Greece or whatever, Greek. We know that's Alexander. You don't got to do you don't got to say a whole lot of stuff on Alexander. You can just say Alexander the Greek, the son of Philip of Macedonia. You might put the date of birth, the date of death, and then it goes into his four generals. And all you got to do is mention the four generals because that's common knowledge. All right? The first two verses where it spoke about the kings of Persia, you can put in names. Some of you guys went off on the names. A lot of you were right on point. Then after that, you have the at those four kings, there was really two kings or two lines that warred against each other. And now you can put you can put a key name, the name of two persons, put a sentence or two that kind of encapsulates what they did to give you an idea. Because somebody put down from verse in Daniel 11 chapter, somebody I believe put down from verse, was it 33 to 35? They just put Maccabees. Well, you haven't broken down each verse. So you got to go back and you got to do the test all over again. Then a bunch of you guys, it seemed like some of these tests, just 2 or 3 tests, sound like the same, they're written the same exact way. Now, I hope none of you guys are taking the knowledge of the test and passing it to another guy. If you're doing that, I want you to email me right away and let me know that you passed the test to another person. That's why this is called a test. It's to test you. Not to get, this ain't high school, man. This ain't a thing where you get a guy to put the test together and he knows it or thinks he knows it, then he passes it to you, and then you just copy it, man. And this part of the test is only for the leaders, man. You guys are supposed to be leaders. Not to get on all of y'all, because some of the test results were on point. Hit the points, gave a little bit of, maybe a sentence or two of a little history of that particular verse, and went on to the next verse. See, I got to say that because you guys don't get it, man. So the ones of you that don't think you really hit the points, go back and do the test again. Make sure you give me what camp you're from, you're the leader of, and give me a Hebrew name. Another thing, from I believe the 36th verse to the end, there was a couple of people that put down Antipater and Herod and the Romans. That ain't talking about that, man. And if you get 5 questions wrong on the test, you failed the test, man. So those last 10 verses or 9 verses, you done failed the test. You might have got most of the tests correct. You off on the last 9, 10 verses, you're going to fail the test. So the ones of you that think you passed it, let your test remain up there. The ones of you that think you got to put more spirit in that test and explain more things, do the test again and send it to the YouTube address. The ones of you that got that Antipater and Herodians and the Romans and Antipater did this and Augustus Caesar, y'all got to go back. All right? Go back and do that. Don't give me that crap, man. You go back, you do the test again, and you give it back to me the right way, all right? Anyway, you got something, Mark?
Con, this the book of
See, you had the sweet, now it's time for the bitter. All right?
Oh man. Con. Matter of fact, since the elder just said that, I'm gonna bring out Ezekiel real quick. Ezekiel, the second chapter. Ezekiel chapter 2, or actually the third chapter, Slocky, brother. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. Now, as your brothers know, the roll is dealing with the knowledge. It's not talking about no actual piece of bread, go around and look for. Yeah. You got, something like. Yeah, it's not talking about no Kaiser roll, no Portuguese roll or nothing. It's talking about the knowledge. And you're supposed to eat it, like meaning. Yeah, meaning you're supposed to eat it. You're supposed to study it. You're supposed to absorb it, take it in, study to show yourself approved, right? Digest it. All right, but then when you digest it, that's when it gets to the bitter part, which the elder was just speaking about. Okay, which now you brothers is going to, it was all sweet. It was good when you first came in this knowledge. You was out there speaking and everything and able to call the white man the devil and bring certain scriptures out and all this and that, right? But now when it's time to go into the bitter part, into the deeper part, now a lot of you guys are getting, pretty much frustrated with it, But now I'm going to read on. It says, verse 2, so I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Meaning what? Your bowels is speaking about what? The bowels of your mind. All right, it's not talking about your actual stomach. See, it's parabolic. And you're supposed to fill it with this knowledge, which the elder gave the test for Daniel's 11th chapter, which is a lot of history, but that's part of the knowledge. It's part of the knowledge. You got to get into it. You shouldn't be wanting to copy it down or whatever. You should want to know this thing for yourself, man. So if somebody calls you out and put you on the spot, you able to break it down, man. I remember before, years ago, when we first was studying it, we was asking Elder Tahar to break down. He did the same thing with us. He threw it back at us, right? Then we was happy to go through different books and get different information. We have fun with it, man. All right, but now it says, and he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee into the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. It says, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel would not hearken unto thee, for all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. And that's when you go out to the camp and the speakers and everything, and you're trying to teach Jake, right? And y'all see that Jake don't want the truth, man. Jake want bullshit. Jake want bullshit. They don't want to hear about the breakdowns of prophecies. They don't want to hear about America being destroyed. They don't want to hear about their beloved Obama, the homo that he is, that he's a devil, all right? And he don't give a shit about them. Verse 7, it says, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. You know, so that's the main point I was going to bring out about how this truth at first is sweet in your mouth, but then it gets bitter. You know, you just got to deal with the bitter.